Hey you guys, it's Channon Rose, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a pregnancy update, and as you can probably tell, I am exhausted and tired, and it took a lot just to try to pull myself together, put a little bit of makeup on, and film this video. A lot of things have been happening from week 32 on. I'm almost 35 weeks now, but I've had a lot of the same symptoms throughout the weeks. They just are progressively getting worse. So I'm gonna tell you what some of those are. But before I get into like symptoms, because I feel like symptoms are kind of like the bad side of pregnancy, I wanna tell you something good, which is she's so big now in my stomach that up here, I can feel her little heel from her foot like pushing out. Obviously it's not comfortable and sometimes it hurts, but it's the cutest thing, you guys. Like honestly, it's so cute and I love feeling her little heel, and I just like, I can't wait till she comes out and I can like touch it for real. But in the meantime, that's like something that has made me so happy, especially with all the stuff I've been going through. Cause man, you guys, I tell you this every week, but pregnancy is hard. It's way harder than I ever thought it was gonna be, to be honest. I knew like, oh, you get aches and pains and you gain weight and you know, your back hurts or whatever, but like I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Starting at week 32, I was really hormonal. Like I started feeling like really ragey hormones kind of. I was just really hormonal and I was starting to get really swollen everywhere. So thankfully the heat is starting to like kind of go away now, but I was pregnant like during majority of summertime, and even now you could probably still see like I'm pretty swollen, not just in my hands, but like my face has gotten really swollen, my lips, basically my whole body is like really swollen. So that's kind of like something that has been happening in week 32, and also just like emotional crying, like hormonal emotional pregnancy crying. If you guys don't follow me on my vlog channel, you should, because I have some pretty embarrassing videos over there of me just like losing it and having like mental breakdowns because I'm so pregnant and miserable, and just kind of like showing you guys a side of pregnancy I feel like not very many people show. Everyone's like, oh, pregnancy, you're glowing, you're so beautiful, but like pregnancy is hard and there's a lot of things that like go on behind closed doors that you don't see when pregnant women are like out and about. And so I put that out there because I want people to know like this is how it's been for me. I'm just being real and honest, and maybe if you're going through that, you don't feel so alone. Like right now her little head feels like it's pushing my insides out right now and it's so uncomfortable. So yeah, that was week 32. Week 33, I have written down just very swollen feet and hands even after elevating them. And also I have found out that in the middle of my night, I can't talk. In the middle of the night, like my hands were getting really stiff and painful, like my fingers and stuff. And I was like, what in the world is happening? And I just thought like, oh, some weird pregnancy thing. Like my hands are getting really weird. And it's not my hands so much, it's more of like my fingers, like all in here. Like when I bend, it like kind of hurts and it's like stiff and hurty. That's like my best way of explaining things. I'm terrible at explaining things. And I had said this like in an Instagram post. I was talking about some of my symptoms. Someone was like, oh, you have pregnancy-induced carpal tunnel. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I looked it up and I guess I do have that. I guess it happens from like an increased amount of like fluid buildup in your body when you're pregnant. So some people get that. I had no idea that was like a pregnancy thing. I just thought something weird was happening to me. And so that is pretty bad. And it gets worse at night, like really bad at night. And in the morning is like when it's the worst. So yeah, that was one thing. And then at week 33, I weighed 154 pounds. And this is another fun thing. I thought that I weighed like 115 when I first, or 110 or 15 or something like that when I first got pregnant. But I didn't. I actually called my fertility clinic to find out my exact weight before I got pregnant, and I weighed 104. I now, at almost 35 weeks, weigh 156. And I haven't weighed myself since my last doctor's appointment, which was like a few days ago. So I probably weigh more than that. So I've gained like over 50 pounds this pregnancy so far, which is crazy. It's definitely taken a toll on my body, and it's very uncomfortable when you gain that much weight starting at such a like low weight. It's a lot. So then, surprise, surprise, I ended up back in the hospital. I went back to labor and delivery because I was having like constant Braxton Hicks contractions that I almost felt like lasted all day, but like they would go away, come back, go away, come back. I started having lower back pain and I was like, oh, I don't know. Like they say if you have more than like 5 or 6 in an hour to go get checked, like just to be on the safe side. And I like really didn't want to go because I've already gone twice now for good reason. I had like early contractions or like an irritable uterus or whatever the first time, and they gave me medication for it, and then the second time I had like an ocular migraine, so like I had reasons to go in, but I feel like I've just gone too many times and I'm like embarrassed at this point to like keep going back in there, even though they're so nice at my hospital. And they're like, if you have anything, don't be afraid to come in, that's what we're here for, this is our job. Like they're so nice, but I just, you know, you feel bad going in a million times. But I know I'm not the only one, because people are like, don't worry, Shan, like I went a million times also, because you're like worried, especially as a first-time mom, like you don't know if like you're in preterm labor, like it's just scary, and a lot of things happen to your body that are new and everything else. Anyways, I went and they ended up doing a cervical check, and I have had these cervical checks throughout my pregnancy and none of them hurt me. This one was the most painful check I've ever had, and I was like, oh my God, like it literally felt like she's putting her whole fist up inside of me. And then even after that, I was like cramping and in so much pain like for like the whole rest of the day. So yeah, I didn't like that. But thankfully my cervix was closed. I wasn't dilating. Again, I just had an irritable uterus. And so they just tell you to like rest and drink a bunch of water, which I've been drinking so much water, like so much water. I feel like my nose keeps running, gross. In the middle of the night, I drink like 4 bottles of water. And then during the day, I drink like probably 10 to 12 bottles of water. Like I'm drinking so much water. It's like crazy. Cause I'm just so thirsty all the time and I'm peeing all the time. So when I get these Braxton Hicks contractions, I'm like so annoyed because I'm like, I know I'm hydrated. I know that this is not like a dehydration thing. And I feel like I get an adequate amount of rest. So like, I don't know, I think they just come on out of nowhere. Also, I've been eating tons and tons and tons of fruit. I'm eating more fruit than I was before, like probably 2 cartons. You know, like the cartons of grapes that you get? I can eat like 2 of those in a day. And then like the extra large carton of grapes, not like the regular one, but like the extra large one, I eat like all of that in one day. Like I just want fruit and water constantly. It's like really crazy. So yeah, I've been eating and just like hungry nonstop. Like I'll eat a bunch of stuff and then like 5 minutes later, I'm totally hungry again. Which probably explains the weight gain. So at the end of week 33, I started having like serious nesting, which I hadn't had that in a while because I was really lazy and didn't want to do anything. But then I cleaned my whole house, which I never do. And when I say clean house, I mean like I extreme cleaned my house, and I posted a vlog where I filmed myself doing it, like 8 months pregnant, and it's pretty intense. You guys should definitely check it out. So now we're at week 34. I've had so many Braxton Hicks contractions. I've had a ton of pressure down there. I know that she's been low in my pelvis for like weeks now, but I feel like she's getting even lower to the point where like when I went to have the 3D ultrasound, I went and did it twice because the first time she was really low and they couldn't see her face very well. And then the second time I went in a few weeks later and she was even like lower, so they just couldn't see her. And then I recently had another ultrasound at 34 weeks, like the medical one. The ultrasound tech was like, whoa, she's really low. And they couldn't even get a picture of her face because she was so low. So they just said, it's gonna be uncomfortable from here on out. And I'm like, looking at them like it's been uncomfortable. So I'm excited for her to come. Let's see. Oh, then this is a funny story. My sister was in town and we went to go get like takeout and pick it up. And I was in the car, and you guys, honestly, I thought that I was gonna have the baby in the car. I started having like crazy, like cramping. Like it felt like I was gonna poop myself in the car. I've never felt it before. It was really weird. Honestly, like I thought the baby was gonna come out, and I was like, you gotta get me home. It feels like I'm gonna poop in my pants. Like I kept saying this, and then like I got home and I just took the biggest poop. So I wasn't gonna have the baby in the car. I just had to poop really bad, I guess. I guess when you're this big, it feels weird when, like, it doesn't feel like, I don't know how to describe it. It just feels really weird, and you don't know if it's a big poop coming out or a big baby coming out. So yeah, I thought I was gonna have the baby in the car, but I was fine. It was just a big poop. So when we went to do the medical ultrasound, they said that she's weighing in at 5 pounds and 7 ounces. And that's at 34 weeks. I weighed 156, and they just said like she's pretty big for her gestational age. She was measuring like a few days early and also weighing more than usual. So she's been well fed. I just like am really hoping I can get an epidural at this point, because I do not want to be pushing a big baby out of my cupcake hole. We'll see how that goes. Stay tuned for the birth vlog. Subscribe to the vlog channel. What else? Okay, also I've been having, normally I'm a really good sleeper. I've been having so much trouble sleeping lately. I'm just so uncomfortable. I know you guys probably hear like all the pregnant women say this, like at this point and later on in your pregnancy, like you just can't get comfortable at all. It's like beyond uncomfortable. It gets to the point where you're just like so tired because you can't sleep, because you're like tossing and turning because everything hurts and aches, and you just have pains everywhere. And like even right now, like I'm like itchy. I've been putting on like slabbing on that like cocoa butter, whatever cream stuff all over my belly, just because I feel like these last couple weeks that she's just growing so much bigger, and yeah, it's just uncomfortable. And then you get emotional because you have all these hormones, so you're like crying and you're like fighting with your significant other, and just like, it's just like a constant misery is what it feels like towards the end of pregnancy, where you're just like, I want this baby out. Like I can't tell you how many times I've said during like each day, like I just want her to come, like I'm ready to not be pregnant anymore. And I want to make it clear that I'm not saying I'm ungrateful for being pregnant, because obviously you guys know I'm very grateful to be pregnant, but it's just gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm ready for her to come out. Oh, I can feel her. She's pushing out her little heel at me. It's like the cutest thing. I honestly cannot wait to just hold her in my arms and be over being pregnant, like being done. I'm done being pregnant. I'm so over it. You guys have no idea. I look at some of these other pregnant women, I'm like, how do they do that? Like, how do they look good every day? How do they have the energy to be like working out? And some women at like 8 months pregnant right now, like 35 weeks, are like running. I'm like, how is that even like a thing? I could barely freaking walk. I literally feel like there's a baby about to fall out of my cupcake at any moment. Oh, and I started having contractions, but like not regular, like I'm going into labor contractions, but that's like kind of a 35-week thing. I don't know if this is going to be my last pregnancy update or not, because I don't know if like she's going to be coming a little bit earlier. The doctor said she might be, so like to be prepared for that. That's kind of where we're at right now. And I'm pretty sure that my due date got pushed up to 39 weeks instead of 40, just because of my back issues and all the back pain I've been having. So like I might not go all the way to 40 weeks. I might get induced at 39 weeks. So we'll see how everything goes, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. I am very excited to meet this little girl, and I still can't believe it sometimes. Like sometimes it just doesn't feel real. But yeah, I've been using this little back brace thing, as you could see, and it's definitely been helping me a lot. And last night I slept a lot better because I was like, I'm sleeping on my back because I just could not get sleep for the past few days, and it's like the worst thing ever. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna sleep on my back, because I was like paranoid to sleep on my back because they tell you not to when you're pregnant. And I did, and I got such a better night's rest. So there was that. Anyway, I think that's it for today's update. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to stay tuned for future updates. Let me know if you guys have any video request ideas in the comment section. Thank you again so much for watching. I'm sending you all my love and all my positive energy, and I hope to see you in my next video.